Hello, Adrian, and welcome back to my channel. It's 7:30 p.m. UTC +8. So once again, we are back for another episode of the Dang Oracle. Hope everybody is well, and hope you've enjoyed yesterday. And during the night, we had our very epic third halving moment, and of course now Bitcoin is $20,000. I'm just kidding. But that's apparently what everybody is expecting nowadays, right? So everybody was so hyped for the Bitcoin halving, and then nothing happened. Well, not really, nothing happened, but yeah, it was very lackluster. Let's put it like that. Hi, Vahe. Welcome. And how's the baby? Well, the baby is currently crying a little bit, apparently, but the mom is currently giving him milk. But other than that, he is perfectly fine. So let's move on and check out what is going on with the COVID situation in our world. See if there is any new numbers. Let's check it out. So the US, we are still at 1.350 million 350. Russia, Spain, UK, Italy, all above 200k. France is nearing that 200k, and Germany and Brazil as well nearing that 200k. So let's see, take a look how it looks on the charts. Let's refresh that one. Hi, Sunday. Hey, just us. The crystal ball was correct. Yes, apparently. sometimes it's not functioning for really well, but sometimes it's correct. It's weird. Anyways, so we are close to 4.2 million total confirmed cases right now. We can see that it's actually starting to slow down a little bit. So it's slowing down a little bit. Hi, Faisal. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. And let's take a look. So the US, wow, this is very bad. So the US has actually a very, very high slope. That's not very good. Russia as well. Spain still. UK definitely as well. Italy and France are starting to flatten a little bit. So that's a little bit better. But overall, it seems to be slowly flattening. But the biggest countries seems to be, it's still, the situation still is not looking super good overall. And like I said, a lot of people were expecting that we would be, getting out of this situation very, very quickly. But yeah, this is definitely going to be longer than expected. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how the lockdown situation is in your countries, but here in the Philippines, they have just once again extended it until end of this month. So we are still in a lockdown until until end of May. So yep. Sadly enough, I cannot do much until the end of the month. So that means, well, good news for you guys, I guess. That means I have nothing else to do than just to be streaming on a daily basis for you guys, for your guys' entertainment. But as I said, I'm doing this mainly for myself. It's more like, to document things and so on. Oh, hi, Darren. How are you today? How is everything going? Welcome once again. I think Darren is one of my first viewers that has been watching me since I started out, since a couple of weeks. So yeah. Let's go. Let's start with our main topic of today. Main topic of today is actually this report from Delphi Digital. If you guys, you can go to delphidigital.io. It's a company that is doing a lot of Bitcoin data and statistics, very, very on a very professional level. So in New York, based in New York. So definitely check it out. So if you're a paid member, they give you a report on a monthly basis. But if you are a free member, you still get some reports once a while about the Bitcoin in general. And I think this one is a very special edition for the third halving. And I think a lot of cool things that we've been talking over for a while already are basically reiterated in this report. So why, the first question is why Bitcoin and why now? Well, as you can see here, this chart shows you the policy stance that the governments are all in, right? They are trying to save the situation as quickly, and as they're destroying everything. And as you can see, they've already pledged they've already pledged $10 trillion globally already. And as you can see, whenever there is a growth in the total bank assets, we also see that there is a lot of influence on the Bitcoin market, right? So as you can see right now, the amount of assets from the central bank is just, yeah, it's just going insane. But yeah, that's just quantitative easing, that's what they call it. And yeah, they're just printing an insane amount of money. And yeah, like I said, that will have repercussions at one point, not now, but you know, over 1 year, you know, that market, that money will be on the market, right? And whenever you have more supply, then it devaluates the value of whatever is on the market. It's just how the market works, right? So history often rhymes, as you can see here. First of all, you have to understand that they cannot run out of ammo. Well, meaning, well, they can just keep printing, right? They can print an infinite amount of money that they want. Like there's no cap. Like in Bitcoin, you have 21 million Bitcoins, and that's it. That's it. You cannot print more. Well, US dollars or the central bank obviously can print as much as they want, because it's just a number. Whenever you actually go to your bank and withdraw your money, they actually don't have that amount often in their storage, right? They only keep a very small amount. Hi Stephen, good evening, and welcome. Hope everything is well with you as well. And yeah, Darren, the mom is well and the baby is doing well as well. He just woke up right now, so he's spending some breast time with the mom. Let's put it like that. So as you can see here, every time that the amount of bank assets increase, right, you can see here the price actually of Bitcoin also spiked up. So as you can see here, whenever we have a lot of printing, a lot of money getting on the market, some of that money, and it makes sense, right? Some of that money is going to be flowing into cryptocurrency. It's just, you know, it will flow into bonds, it will flow into stocks, it will flow into gold or whatever, right? And some of it will also flow into cryptocurrency, or in this case, Bitcoin. So as you can see here, every time we had a high increase of central banks' total assets, so when we have these high spikes, Bitcoin actually goes up as well. As you can see right here, we get another high spike, Bitcoin price is positive. Here once again, Bitcoin price positive. And as you can see here right now, it's like out of the roof, right? So what we can expect if the government keeps printing money, keep putting money onto the market, is obviously a positive thing for the cryptocurrency market as well, because yeah, that means that most likely Bitcoin is going to go up more rather than down. Of course, this is over, you know, a very long time period. As you can see, this is 1 year. This is you know, it's a very long term. It's very macro, right? So obviously we're not. This is, you know, we're not talking. Well, for me, I'm a trader, so I look at things very, very short term. But in the long run and the macro perspective, I strongly believe that Bitcoin is going to do very, very well, right? So that's the reason why we should be trying to get more Bitcoin when the price is right. So the race to the bottom. This is basically countries that are trying to basically cut more and more rates, as you can see. And some countries are already in negative rates. And let's see what the FED is going to do. Right now it's at 0. Are they going to pull that trigger to actually go to negative rates, yes or no? And that's going to be having a major effect on the whole economy and the whole market. So let's see if this situation doesn't improve, if people are still not spending any money or this and that, then of course yeah, they will have to go into negative rates, right? So here you can clearly see here that is basically what is happening right now. And if you compare Bitcoin and the currency rate and the currency rate, as you can see, Bitcoin in value went up 74% versus the real, 44. This is on a year basis versus the ruble, and so on and so on and so on. So people don't realize, but the best performing asset right now is actually Bitcoin. It's performing better than any commodity, any stock, anything that you can think of on a year basis, right? There's nothing that is gaining as much as Bitcoin per this year. So for example, if you have bought Bitcoin in January and you and you didn't do anything at all, you just held it until today, yeah, you've made a substantial amount of profits, right? Let's go. And as you can see here, this is the chart for non-sovereign safe havens. And as you can see, the growth in world gold reserves and gold-based ETFs has been growing substantially, right? I've told you guys, I'm just on a technical analysis perspective. I've said this many times already. I'm very, very bullish on gold so far, because you know it just shows a very, very healthy upwards movement, and I think that we will be going to 1800, 1900 very, very, very soon for gold. So right now we are at around 1700 or something like that. So 100 or 200 points for gold. I think it's very, very likely, and definitely if the economy stays like this, right? And as you can see here, if you compare it from the past couple of years, the total world gold reserves keeps on going up, right? It's a spike up. And the purple line is the gold ETF. That means the paper gold, right? I've told you guys about that paper gold thing. A lot of people are trading it. The question is it all really backed by real gold, or the capacity for real gold? That's the main question. But yeah, as you can see, soaring every year. So this is the advantages between Bitcoin, gold, and fiat. I think we don't have to go through that. We all know what the advantages is from Bitcoin already. It's actually the better version of gold. If people are actually truly non-biased, they should realize that it's just the better version of gold. It's just how it is. But the problem is adoption, right? We're not at that that time yet where there's mass adoption just yet. But those kind of things will change when we go through a big crisis, a currency crisis, right? When we go through a big currency crisis and hyperinflation, I'm pretty sure. Well, not immediately. I still think that the governments are going to go, try something to salvage it, like the same thing that happened in Iran. They just change into a new currency that is pegged and to the old currency, but pegged to some other backing, and a different currency basically, to try to salvage their money, right? Their currency. So this could happen also with the US dollar. Like, imagine that the US dollar at one point becomes super hyper inflated. They can change it into some different currency, right? They can call it the global dollar or something like that. Who knows? And then peg it again. But yeah, once more and more people are realizing that that cryptocurrency is the future, then at one point, I'm not necessarily, to be honest, I don't necessarily believe that Bitcoin is going to be the currency, but as a store of value, I do believe that it has all the best qualities for it, right? I still think it's a little bit too slow for currency and this and that, but yeah. So as you can see here, a lot of people are talking, like a lot of macro economists, a lot of people, even I'm sure if you heard the news about Paul Tudor, everybody's talking about Paul Tudor right now, saying Bitcoin investments, MD Bilal. Yeah, don't click on that link. It's spam once again. I'll remove it later on. But yeah, if you've heard about Paul Tudor, he is a very very well known investment hedge fund manager, and he actually admitted that he has 1 or I think 2% of his portfolio is Bitcoin, which is massive because 1 or 2% is most likely like I don't know, like 100 million or something like that in his portfolio, right? So not too bad. Adoption and distribution. So we can clearly see we went through that as well already before in one of my previous charts. We can clearly see that the amount of Bitcoin supply, amount of addresses is growing on a steadily on a daily basis, but we're not there yet. It's not mass adoption just yet, right? So we're getting there. It's slowly going there, but we're not there yet. Here you can see some numbers, how we are actually growing from one quarter to the other quarter. It's this not that important. This is the wallet distribution by balance. This is just to show how many people have, like, a lot of big wallets and a lot of small wallets, and we can clearly see that the amount of small wallets are now starting to accumulate more Bitcoin, and also a lot of big wallets are accumulating more Bitcoin as well. Hi, Mukhtar and Iuk. Thank you for following and welcome to the channel as well. So the whales are watching. Well, what's a whale? A whale is a wallet that has over 1,000 Bitcoin. And as you can see here, whenever price actually dipped down, so we got here, right? The price dipped down, the amount of wallets that have over 1,000 Bitcoins went up, meaning they were buying, right? They were buying. And same here, price went, over here, sorry. Price went down, and then here, amount of big wallets went up. Here, the amount of big wallets went down, but because the price went up, so they sold off here. They took profits. So whales do take profit once in a while as well. And once again, here we have our major crash. If you remember the $3,000 crash, and as you can see here, once again, wallets that had over 1,000 Bitcoin went up again, meaning yes, the whales are still very very much interested in this market, and yeah, you can clearly see that as well in their reaction. If the price would go down and the big wallets wouldn't go up or didn't buy anything, then you should be worried. But that's just basically very very positive and very healthy for the longer future. Let's put it like that. Then this is multisig. Yeah, everybody is using multisig nowadays for their Bitcoin wallet. If you're not, then please do. It's way safer. We have institutional lending that is going on. So a lot of people are using institutional lendings right now, and this is something that is becoming more and more popular, meaning you can just give out Bitcoin or give out crypto, and you get like some form of interest for it passively, and people can use that Bitcoin to be loaning, to put in margin positions and so on. So lending is something that is very big right now, which is something that we didn't have, right? Grayscale is one of the biggest institutional investors, of course, and yeah, you can clearly see the amount of money that is flowing into the GBTC or the where on planet Earth are you getting this info? Hi Henry, how are you doing? Welcome. Yes, Henry, I'm actually a data analyst as well. So this is what I do. I analyze a lot of data, and then so aside from technical analysis, I do a lot of data analysis, and then then we form some sort of consensus of some opinion and something like that, and that's how we try to become a better trader. Let's put it like that. So we can clearly see that institutional investors are growing as well. You can see that every quarter the amount of money that is going up as well. That's for institutional money. And Square, which is the biggest app right now retail buyers. So most of the people in the US are using Square to be buying crypto as well. So as you can clearly see here, very, very substantial amount of growth as well, right? Hi Santonic, hi Mukhtar, hello, welcome to the channel as well. Thank you Santonic. Please stay and enjoy. And as you can see here, retail investors have been paying attention as well. We can clearly see that the amount that Square, the app, has been showing people buying, retail has been buying as well. The problem is most likely they have been buying on the not as good spots as the institutions, but that's a different thing. Exchange flows, well, I'm not gonna go through that too much. It's basically how much money is going out of the exchange, and that's actually a good thing, weirdly enough, right? Because the more Bitcoin that is going out of the exchange is actually going into a cold wallet or your own hardware wallet, and that's basically people who are holding, right? If people are going to put money on the exchange, usually Bitcoin on the exchange is usually to be trading, to be selling it, not to be holding it. So when you see a lot of Bitcoin moving out from the exchange into a wallet, your own personal wallet, it means that they are just keeping it or holding it or whatsoever, right? So it's not, it's actually quite a good thing. Okay, volume analysis. Okay, futures. Okay, futures and spot volume. As you can see, nowadays it's all about futures, right? And when people are getting more and more advanced, I'm telling you right now, options will be the next hype and the next big thing. So for now, everybody is, well, most of the people are margin trading. You know, so you can long, you can short. But if you are a real trader, you should be learning how to trade options. Right, that's something that I can advise you. It's for the more advanced people, right? For people who really want to be very interested in trading. If you're just longing and shorting, cool. That's good. You can make money with it. But if you know how to handle options, if you know how to trade options, trust me, it makes things on the trading perspective a lot easier, and you can risk manage a lot of better ways, because the market is so volatile. And when you're trading options, you just have a bigger edge than just using margin trading. Hi Patrick and Harris, welcome. Thank you for following and welcome to the channel as well as Ibrahim. Thank you for following. Patrick, do I believe the Bitcoin will follow its history with the halving? That's a very tricky question. I don't think it will be exactly the same. No. One of the reasons is, and I have it, if you watch back in one of my videos before, you will see that what happened now in this third halving is, on a macro perspective, a very different trend than the first two halvings, which is kind of normal, but you know, it is very different. Do I think that it will have an impact? For sure, it will have an impact on the market, but will it be, you know, exactly the same as previously? In my opinion, no, but who knows, right? The market will always decide what the market wants to do. But if you are interested in that, in my opinion on that, there's a video before that I've created. I don't remember what the title of the video is actually anymore, but I'll go back to it on a later stage, right? Thank you, Mercedes. Thank you. Yes, I am a new daddy. My baby is now 7 days old, 1 week old. Yes. And all he does is eat, sleep, and poop. That's basically what he does. Hi, Harris. Yes, I'm actually in the Philippines right now. So you're watching me in the Philippines from the Philippines. So yeah, back to the content. Futures is what most likely a lot of people are most interested in. You can clearly see futures is like 90% of whatever the traffic is on an exchange. But like I said, if you are interested, you bought 743 Bitcoin and did not sold back in 2008. Wow. We have a very rich person here watching this stream. Congratulations. Yes. Watching for waiting for 19k. Yeah, yeah. I would not be surprised, to be honest. This can go easily to crazy, very crazy numbers, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you are very careful with that. Okay, so this is the volume distribution. Okay, this is the UTXO analysis. This is actually quite interesting, how they are basically checking the analysis or the health of the Bitcoin movement over the last year and so on. The first thing that is very important is, as you can see here, Bitcoin that has moved under 1 year is 40%, but Bitcoin which hasn't moved in 3 years, on the bottom here, sorry that you can see, but is 28%. So 28% of Bitcoin that hasn't moved in 3 years at all. So that's like, people who are just like Mr. Tej here, who are just holding, who are doing nothing else than just holding and waiting for the moment to be, cashing in, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what your plan is, Tej. If Bitcoin goes to 19,000, are you going to sell everything, all your Bitcoins? I'm curious because I'm always curious what people are going to do, or what people are thinking about doing with their Bitcoin. So let me know. So if Bitcoin goes to 19,000, you're gonna sell your 743 Bitcoins. Is that the plan? Hi Xendor, thank you for following, and welcome to the channel as well. So this is the market value towards realized value, also very interesting, but yeah, I won't go over this for today. This is the price distribution. It's also pretty interesting, but okay, here, this is like the consensus upgrade life cycle of Bitcoin. So a lot of people don't know that, but there will be a lot of Bitcoin updates actually. We have Schnorr signatures that will provide better privacy and efficiency for scripts, which is something really cool, because that means that something, a lot of improvements actually on Bitcoin as well. We have Taproot, improvement of the smart contract. So a lot of people are obviously now using Ethereum because of the smart contracts, aside from other blockchains. But with Taproot, with that update, there will be a possibility to have smart contracts on Bitcoin as well. So that's something that could be very important as well, right? Imagine that we can do everything on Bitcoin. We have TapScript. That's the upgraded version of Bitcoin's programming language, right? There's a lot of people who are annoyed with how people have to code in that annoying language for Ethereum, as well for Bitcoin. But having an upgraded language, it will make it easier for people to develop or to update Bitcoin, right? We have Stratum version 2. That's actually to improve decentralization, security, and efficiency of Bitcoin mining. So yeah, other upgrades we have here, as you can see, consensus cleanup, SIG hash no input, check template verify. These are really all cool things if you are a developer or a software developer or a programmer. A lot of things happening, and of course we have the Lightning Network. Lightning Network is growing. It's not getting adopted as quick as we hoped it would be, but it's actually it's actually growing, and it already increased the Bitcoin capacity by 8%. It's not that bad, right? And yeah, things can move on once a lot of more projects are moving over to the Lightning Network. And also the Lightning Network will have some upgrades as well. As you can see here, we have Wumbo channels, we have trampoline routing, we have multipath payments. So if that becomes a reality, then Bitcoin might become a payment solution as well. Hi, Melfren. Actually, you should have I think 1,000 Bitcoin when you to become a whale. So he's not a whale yet. wait. Definition chart. Wait. I have something really cool. 1 second. Let me see. Dun. Here. 1 second. A baby well, yes, I think so, yeah. Ta-da! Here you go. So he's a blue whale if it's over 20,000 bitcoins. He's a humpback whale if he has between 10,000 and 20,000 bitcoins. A shark between 1,000 and 10,000. So technically he is between 100 and 1,000. So he is a dolphin. Okay. Tej, you're a dolphin. 10 to 100 is an octopus. 2 to 10 is a squid, 0.5 to 2 is a crab, and under 5 is a shrimp. So, guys, let me know. What are you? What are you? Do we have any blue whales here? Do we have any blue whales here? That is the main question. Do we have any blue whales? It would be really funny if we had any blue whales. Anyways, Lightning Network. So yeah, we have this is an overview of the Bitcoin mining devices. We can see that we went from CPU to GPU to ASIC. Everything is ASIC right now. We can clearly see that the improvement on the hash rate has been going up all the time. As you can see here in 2012, oh, this is quite interesting as well. In 2012, how much was the mining electricity fee approximately to be profitable? This is in 2016, and this is basically here now in 2020, right now after this halving. I'll go over that in a while, in a little bit, in on the chart. It will be easier to be following. But as you can see here, the break-even cost post halving for an Antminer 17 would be 15,100. That's a very high Bitcoin price, right? So you need to have $15,000 to be mining profitably after this halving. Depends on where you are in the world, right? Electricity cost is cheaper in for example in China and so on. But I'll give you a chart on that later on. So concluding remarks, as you can see here, mining profit has been very, very, very high, right, over the past couple of months. But then obviously during this period right now, during the halving, the mining profitability is very, very low. So miners are definitely suffering right now, and we will have some capitulation definitely going on in the next couple of weeks, months. And that's also one of the reasons why I still think that we will have a small pullback on the Bitcoin price, and we are not going to $20,000 immediately. But yeah, that's one of the reasons. I think we will have some mining capitulation first before we move up more onto the price. Contributor pieces, those are the people that are contributing, blah blah blah. Halving becomes a narrative. Oh yeah, I think yesterday, was it yesterday, I told you that there is some data correlation between the media, how many articles has been talking about, how many Twitters have been talking about Bitcoin. And as you can see here, whenever we are talking a lot about Bitcoin, we also see price increase as well. I think that's normal. A lot of more people are aware of something is happening, and then, you know. and so on. When could we start seeing an effect on the Bitcoin price from the halving? Well, actually, if we look into the past, well, we'll go into that in a while as well. So what we can do is check what happened in the past and see if that would happen again and now in the future, what the result would be. I will do that in a while as well. So here you can see here. So the thing is, as you can see, even though there is a lot of talking about halving, there is no retail FOMO. So even though we have a lot of tweets about it, it's not really a lot of retail that has been buying or FOMOing into the price. So that's quite interesting to see as well. And definitely, if you compare it with before, as you can see here, when in 2017, the peak. When Bitcoin was close to 20,000, that was that was when retail bought a lot, apparently, at the top. Sadly enough. So this is having, again, Bitcoin price versus the media, why we Bitcoin, blah 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 blah. We all know that already. Okay, I think that was the whole. So if you guys want to read all of this yourself, this whole report, you can just go to delphidigital.io and take a look yourself, right? So the most important thing that I wanted to talk a little bit more in disclosure is the mining, right? We all know that the mining cost is something that is very, very important. And as you can see here, this is actually a very nice chart that basically shows what the average price would be of Bitcoin to basically cover the cost of the mining. And as you can see here, the blue line is the Antminer S15, the red line is the Antminer S17, and the newest one, the orange line, the S19, that is not available just yet. So before the halving, if you had if you had an S15, you only needed the price to be $4,300 to be profitable. So during this whole time, you would be making a lot of money, right? If you are mining, even if you had an old mining system. The problem is now, because of the halving, of course, half of the rewards means also double the price, right? So 4,000 instead of 4,300, it became 8,600. And where's the price right now? The price is right there at around the 8,600 price. Meaning, if you have an Antminer S15, you would just barely survive, right? You would just barely cover the cost. So that's one of the reasons why I think that if the price doesn't pump up towards 10K or something like that, then we'll see a small pullback, and most likely we'll also see a small pullback because of competition. This is still a free market, and people who want market share obviously want to push get higher market share of mining systems, right? So what we could see is a dump from the miners who have saved a lot of Bitcoin. And we've seen from January, if we look at the miners' wallets, from January until now, we've seen that a lot of miners have been holding their Bitcoin. So what they've done is sell just enough Bitcoin to cover all their electricity fees, but they are holding the rest of their Bitcoins on a rainy day, and also because they believe that the halving would propel prices to go higher. So they were speculating that prices would go higher, and meaning that the Bitcoins that they were saving would become more valuable in the future, right? But so what can happen is these guys that have saved all these Bitcoins, they want to kick out their competition that have old mining systems. Let's say you have an S17 and you want a bigger market share of the mining industry. Well, you could be pushing the price down, selling all your Bitcoins to push the price down to, for example, the price is only like 6,000 anymore. And then only people who have the Antminer 17 would be profitable. All the mining companies that still have the Antminer S15, they would not be profitable anymore. So they would have to either mine at a loss or just quit their systems, right? Or just shut down. So that's also one of the reasons that the effect of this halving is quite big on the whole economy. Not only for people who are speculating that we have less supply, because that's basically the reason why people think that the price of Bitcoin is going up. We have less supply on the market. We will have less sell pressure. That means it becomes a more rare product. So higher scarcity, meaning higher price, right? That's what the investors are thinking. But in the perspective of a miner, what they are thinking is, of course, we want as much market share as possible. We want to take over we want to be the company that are mining for everybody and make money, right? It's just about making money. So what they can do is they can push the price back down to like $6,000, for example, and then everybody who has an S15 not profitable anymore. So this is those ranges right now are the most important ranges, as you can see. Right now, to be profitable with an S15, 8,600. So just keep that in mind. If price goes down below 8,600, people who have an S15 will most likely be having to shut down. And what will happen? They will most likely be selling their Bitcoin, right? So that can create some dumping. The second one is $6,100, around $6,100. So for an S17, that would be the price of, the critical area right now after the halving, $6,100. So if price goes there to that level, you can once again see, we'll be seeing a lot of, mining capitulation, or a lot of people who will be like, ouchie, what are we going to do? And then the last target would be here at around $4,400 for the S19, or the newest mining system right now. So just keep those prices in mind, because those are actually really, really important prices for the mining industry. So if price ever moves to below that certain price for a longer period, just know that most likely we will get a bigger push downwards. Because why? Because the miners will be capitulating and they will be selling off their Bitcoin, right? So anytime we move to that critical area, price dumping will go faster, and we will have that. So if people are asking how come we can get like these giant red candles downwards, that's mainly because of that. We are hitting this liquidity level where miners have to capitulate or give up, or where basically whales are saying, okay, that's it. We can't take it no more. That's 2. And 3 will be, of course, liquidity calls from margin traders. If you are over leveraged and you hit your liquidation point, then of course that will increase the speed as well. So those are the 3 things that we have to keep in mind. Definitely, if you are a trader, whenever we hit some sort of those critical points. So once again, 8.6K, 6.1K, and 4.4K. If we are near somewhere that price, and we break down from it, and we see it's holding below that price for a few days or longer period, then most likely we'll be seeing a bigger red candle, or the effect will be larger than that you will be expecting, right? So okay, that was the whole data analysis and mining explanation for today. So let's go into our Bitcoin, right? So let's follow up on yesterday. So yesterday I told you guys most likely we will be spiking once again our green box on the bottom, and that's basically pretty much what happened there. We went back down into my green box once again, and price still spiked up one more time, up back to our levels where we are right now, our very, very important level of 8.6K. That's basically what we need to be holding, right? So what can we expect right now? Like I said yesterday, for now things are still actually looking pretty good. They're still looking pretty bullish, so nothing to be worried about. However, we are, as you can see, if we are looking at the 4-hour chart, we are forming some sort of a bear flag, rising channel, but yeah, it looks more like a bear flag. So what is what I am thinking is going to be happening is the following. So I've told you guys yesterday I've taken profit right here because that was the EMA, the green line and the yellow line, the retest of that bearish cross of the EMA 21 and the EMA 55. So I told you guys most likely after this rejection we should be going back down towards my green box. And after that rejection we went back into that green box. But I have also said that if we get back into that green box, you should be thinking about actually buying it one more time, because this has been a very major support area. So most likely it's not going to be breaking immediately, right? So it will take a couple of tests, most likely 3 times, 4 times before it will be breaking. What we are forming right now is actually not a very good pattern, right? You can see this is actually a very bearish pattern, and we can clearly see that all in the short term, the moving averages are going sloping down, right? So the pressure on the selling side is higher, but not in the short term. Not in the very short term, at least. So what am I expecting? Well, like I said, I don't expect much fireworks actually in within this this week. I do believe that we will be going mainly sideways with a little bit of ranging, right? So what am I expecting right now is some sort of like a triangle that we are forming, something like this. So an A, B, A, this is our B, this is most likely our C, and then our D, and then our E, and then from there most likely we will be going down from there into our green box once again. That's basically what I'm expecting over the next couple of days. Right now I do believe that we are still going to push up one more time to around the 9 point, I would say around just below 9.1k or something like that. That's what I'm expecting. The reason why I'm expecting that is because we are forming this on the 1 hour. If you go very, very, very short term, we are forming a ascending triangle. Let's make it in the line chart, and then you can see it more easily. You can see here we are forming this ascending triangle. So something like this, right? So we are forming an ascending triangle, and if we make a measured move from that, from here to here, this ascending, small ascending triangle, we can clearly see if we break up from it, we will be heading back once again. Oops, I'll make it straight. We'll be heading back once again to around I would say like 9,050 to 9,100, something like that. So I still expect us to be breaking out of this ascending triangle and most likely have another push up towards the 9,050, 9,100, something like that, on that area. So what do that, like I said, what would that make? Something like this, right? Doof, 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 and then we break down or something like that. That's basically what I'm expecting over the next couple of days. Well, more likely something like this. Wait, A, B, C, D, E, and then down. Something like that is what I'm expecting. So not that much action, not that much fun or anything like that. But like I said, I'm waiting very, very, very patiently for my shorting position, because I do believe that we will be going down after breaking down from this bear flag. But things can always be different, right? So what will happen if we are breaking this this line? So if we start closing some prices above this resistance line here, which is we can clearly see this was our previous high, right, at 9,150. If we somehow price breaks up above this line, we can actually most likely we'll be going all the way back to our 9.5k resistance, make a small retracement, and actually I do see price going up all the way back to 9.8k afterwards. So let me be very clear, I am trying to be looking into a short here. But if price start closing and above this and makes a a higher high than 9,150, I will switch that immediately into a long. So that's basically what my positions will be. So right now I'm just waiting for 9,000, around close to 9,100 there to be shorting. And my stop loss is very, very simple. It's the previous high on that we made yesterday here at 9,100 and what's that? 9,160, right? So if price goes above 9,160, I will just switch it into a long. If not, of course, I will keep my short, right? But yeah, I do believe that price is most likely going to be going towards somewhere between, like I said, somewhere between 9,050 to 9,100 area, something like that. Right. So yeah, let's take a look here on the daily chart. Yeah. Okay. We can actually move some boxes because we have more data right now. So this box, I will have to move it lower because there's already more resistance on this top here. So this box becomes a little bit lower. So around 9.7 to 9.8. This box is less important right now, although we have a big target here. So I guess it's still a little bit of, I'll just leave that box then there. It's still of importance, but it's not as important as before. So I do believe that if we manage to break above this line, above this 9.160, we'll most likely already break through upwards towards 9.8 already. So but yeah, of course, this is not what this is definitely not what I believe is going to be happening, right? So the probabilities are still more on the breaking down because of this pattern rather than going up. But you have to be, like I said, you have to always be having a plan for if it doesn't go your way, right? So you think about, okay, this is my current plan. My master plan is probabilities are higher to blah 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 blah, and if things go wrong, we have a backup plan, right? So it's quite easy. And then of course, where would be my target? My target will be around 8.1k, or once again this green box. I still don't think it's going to be breaking immediately this box. It has a lot of support, as you can see. There's the EMA 200, there is the EMA 55, there's the EMA 100, the EMA, everything is so convoluted here on this support line. So I don't think it will break anytime soon, at least not for now, right? So that's basically what I'm expecting. But oh yeah, why am I expecting this dark target here on the 8.1k? Well, that's just basically if we make a measured move from this flag here, if we break down from there, as you can see here, we would make a measured move around that green box as well, right? So it can go two ways. It can go down here, but it can break up here, and then we go immediately to this green box up here. So it makes sense, right? So like I said, two critical points. This is becoming very heavy resistance, but because of that pattern, the ascending triangle, like I said, ascending triangle right here. This is the ascending triangle. If that ascending triangle holds, we will most likely be reaching around this target here, right? Ascending triangle, reaching that target, getting rejected from the resistance at the 9,050 to 9,100, breaking down, getting hold back up, small dead cat bounce, and into our green box. That's the play. That's the play. That's the play that I'm going to try to make for today, tomorrow, whatever, whenever it hits. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, right? But plan B, if price breaks up, makes a higher high above this key price here, 9,160, then switch into a long, because most likely measured move from this, measured move there, most likely we will be targeting the upper side well, it's not most likely not going to go to 9.8k, but we will most likely be hitting at least this target here, around 9,550, right? So I think the risk and reward is so defined. It's you know, the amount of money that I can lose is so small, and if I'm wrong, it will be covered from my long, right? So that's basically how you should be trading. Like I said, you should always have a plan and have a backup plan, and make sure that if things don't go your way, that you don't end up, you know, losing all your money in one shot, right? So if you don't have a second plan or a backup plan, please, you know, you should not be trading at all, right? So yeah, I think my strategy or my reasoning behind my trade is quite logical, right? So why do I think that we are still on the downtrend or in the downtrend? Well, let's look at the momentum indicators, right? So if we look at our daily chart, you can see here stocks are still going down. I've made a support line here, so that means that we still have a lot of space to be going down, right? So it's one of the reasons why I still believe that we are in a macro daily daily downtrend. Okay, second, we also talked about this already. When the green flashes here, we usually have a topping price, and as you can see here, histogram is starting to tick down, which means once again on the daily basis we are losing momentum. Something else, the CCI, as you can see here, CCI is currently below the EMA, right? Whenever that happens, although we are trying to curl back up, whenever that happens, once again, momentum is on the downside. So overall, momentum on the downside, right? If we look on the even higher time frame, we can go to the weekly price, the weekly, yeah, this one, the weekly. As you can see here, the weekly, everything still looks fine, but the last weekly close was the doji candle. Like I said, doji means indecisiveness. Doesn't necessarily that it's going to be down, but most likely it's going to be down. The reason, once again, we have a major rejection right here, and usually after a major rejection, it needs to, like I said, it needs to power up a little bit before we try to break it. So if you are a very bullish person, what you want to see right now is something like this, right, where we form some sort of like a nice bull flag like this, and then we break up from here. And if we break up from here, then we are looking at like 14,000. I wouldn't be surprised that we would go to 14,000 or something like that in a very, very short term. So that's the key area to be looking at as well. Something else that you should be looking at is, like I also explained it before already, is this. We are in a very, very bullish falling wedge. And if the RSI is breaking out of this wedge here, very, very bullish, right? Very, very bullish. And like I said, we have a lot of space to go up. So if it breaks out, like I said, we can easily see 14,000 for Bitcoin. Yes, Scott, everything is on TradingView. Okay, so let's go back on the daily chart. As you can see, so macro perspective, daily chart is down, right? Short term, however, is positive. As you can see here, if you look at the 4-hour chart, our momentum or our stocks is turning upwards. If we look at our RSI, 1 second, RSI, come on. It's because I have so many tabs. 1 second. Here. Okay. If we look at our RSI on the 4-hour chart, we can see we are still above the EMA, and the RSI is only crossing down when the price is below 8,688, right? So it's pretty simple, right? As long as it's like that ascending triangle that we've drawn, it will be breaking down if we go below 8,600, if we close below 8,688. So as long as price is now as like 8,750, there's nothing to be worried about. So in the short term, so for people who are thinking short term, it's easily to manage your risk as well, right? It's you can clearly see if the price goes below 8,688, plan is most likely going to be changing. But everything in the short term is still bullish, right? So that's the reason why I still think we still have enough power to be going towards 9,050, 9,000, below 9,100 most likely. That's most likely what I'm aiming at, to be fair. And then most likely we will be hitting some major resistance once again, over here, a major resistance, and things will be going down again. Let's take a look at our expected moving chart, expected moves chart. As you can see, expected move chart is telling us the following. So the first standard deviation on the top side is 9,039.5, which is around that area that I am looking at, right? 9,050 to 9,100. See, I don't even need to have the math side to have my zones correctly. That's the level that you need to get at, where you just do your technical analysis and then the math backs up what you're saying. That's basically where the level that you need to get to. And then the bottom side of the first standard deviation is 8,450. But once again, does that change anything in the macro perspective? If we go down to the 8,450, no, not really, right? We would still be around in the middle of this, between these two green boxes or something like that. So if we break this green box here, it means that we will have a macro change of trend, right? If we break this box here, we will be going to like 7.5K or something like that very, very quickly. 7.5K or something like that. If we break that box, very, very bearish, and makes sense also, right? It's basically this here. We would be going down to this box immediately here, what I've put on the weekly chart, and that would be very bearish for me, because if that happens, if we break that, if we go down to 7.5K, we'll most likely be go down in the macro perspective, all the way down to this level here, to this orange type of level here. That would be around the $6,000 level. And remember what I told you about the miners, $6,000 levels. That would mean that the S17 guys would be starting to feel some pressure there, if we would get to that price. So once again, keep that in mind. If we keep that price at around 6,000, then we can easily get another dump back and down. But we are not we are definitely not bearish yet, right? You cannot be bearish if we are still above all major moving averages on the weekly chart. You just can't be bearish, right? So for me, the most likely scenario is still the same. If we are bullish, we form some sort of like a slow drop here, we push up here, and we break up here, and that will be the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario, well, not necessarily bearish scenario, is that we do something like this, we retry to break it again, we fail one more, we fail again, and we go here. Then we would end up around $6,000, and then we reevaluate the whatever is going on. That would be the actually this is most likely the high, for me personally, the highest probable situation, right? But who knows? I'm not, I'm just following whatever the price does, whatever the market does, and I just adjust my strategy to it. What would be the bearish scenario? Well, the bearish scenario is this would be a broadening wedge, right? A broadening wedge is something like this, and then it would hit back to around the 3K levels, and then from there we'll be moving up most likely in 2021. That would be the bearish scenario. So those are the three macro perspectives that I have right now in my mind. That's It's one of those three most likely that is going to be happening. But that is all macro perspective. That is for people who are, who invested and are thinking long term. Overall, I'm just following this up on a daily basis. So, we can adjust our strategies whenever something big would happen or something crazy happens. But that's basically what I'm seeing right now. Do I think that we will do this, the bull situation, and where we just I don't know. I don't think we will. I think there will be quite an amount of bearish pressure from the miners because they want to compete and have more market share. So I do believe that we'll do something like this, which is more likely. That is basically what I am thinking, because it kind of depends on what happens to the stock market. If the stock market keeps going up, then we will have that bullish scenario. Like if the stock market keeps doing this, going up, then bullish. If the stock market gets that big retracement, then then most likely the second scenario. And if the stock market completely crashes, then most likely the third scenario, or the most bearish scenario. Do I think that we will be ever going below 3,000? That would be very interesting. But the probability for me personally is very, very low. So for people who managed to somehow buy some Bitcoin here on this low level here, that would be very, 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 that was a very, very good buy. Hi Bernard, my thoughts on breaking down below 8K. I actually think that is, like I said, for me that is still the highest probability, right? So something like this, where we bounce and then break down here and get a lower high somewhere around that line. I think that still has the highest probability for me, but who knows, right? We just have to follow the situation. But for now, like I said, we cannot be bearish. We are thinking everything looks quite good, and we are actually quite bullish so far, as long as the stock market doesn't crash. So let's take a look at the VIX. The reason why I'm looking at the VIX is, of course, the VIX is the sentiment of the S&P. If the VIX goes down, the price usually goes up. If the VIX goes up, that's usually when we have price crashes, right? So as you can see here, on the 30th in February, it started to go up, and we had that major crash in March, right? So that's basically the reason why I'm checking the VIX. And as you can see, VIX has been continuously going down. So that means S&P is bullish, right? Or is going up. But the thing is, we are forming some sort of like falling bullish, I can't speak anymore. It's over 1 hour, then my throat and my tongue just so let's take a breath. Okay, so we have a falling bullish wedge. Usually that breaks on the upside, right? So if this breaks up on the upside, something, well, that's a little bit exaggerated, but something like this, then the S&P is going to be making a substantial crash. And if that happens, if the VIX happens and we see the S&P make that substantial crash, then we have a big problem, right? So do I think that things are in danger right now? Not really. You can see here, S&P is still very, very bullish for me. You can see here we are nearing a very bullish cross on the daily as well, the 21 with the 55. So it's very, very, very bullish. We are still getting rejected by the EMA 200, but I think it's just a matter of time. For me, the big question is this line here, this red line. That's the moving 200 average, which is around 3,000. If we manage to break above that line and close, like, substantially above a daily candle above that line, then most likely we will have a V-shaped recovery. And that sounds really, 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 really sick in our economy, in our situation. But that's what the technicals would be telling me. So for me, I still think that we have a push up for the S&P towards around that area. But then if this VIX is going to be breaking up, then I do see quite a big crash from that point here down, right? So what can happen is we go back up here, so we are creating some sort of like rising wedge pattern, so it slowly goes here and then it breaks down here like this, something like that. Nothing too major, right? It can go back down here, 260, something like that. That's basically what I'm expecting, around 260-ish. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think that we will see these kind of lows anymore. So I do believe that this is most likely the low. So if that is the low, then for Bitcoin, I'm thinking exactly the same, right? So for Bitcoin, then this would be the low. Do I think that we get a crash? Well, it would be the same for Bitcoin, right? We touch a little bit higher, then we crash down here. So similar to in the S&P that I've drawn, right? We go a little bit higher and then we crash down. Correlation between the S&P and the Bitcoin chart is amazingly high. So yes. Hi Douglas, you're a newbie trader. Well, there is a lot of other a lot of other channels that are catering to beginners and traders. So I that's how I started out as well. So I really highly recommend you to do some searches of like, you know, beginner trading channels, and then just take a look at, because I don't want to go into those starting or beginning techniques or something like that. This channel is really more for me, for myself personally, to keep track of, or keeping a diary, and for people who already are, traders and want to see how a professional trader is doing his work, right? So this is my job, this is what I do for a living. So if I'm not making money out of sponsorship, I'm not making money out of anything at all, right? So it's not like I'm getting paid for this or something like that. I wish I did, but I don't. So daddy still has to make some money or else he cannot feed the baby. So yeah, that's how I started out as well. I checked a lot of traders. I checked a lot of other channels for starting out, and that's how I started learning how to trade. What is my view on Litecoin? Well, Litecoin is another altcoin, and I'm really not a fan of altcoins, right? So you can ask me all the time about altcoins, but look at the chart of all these altcoins. It's just so horrible. So I don't know why people are so. I understand why people are obsessed about altcoins, because most of the times that's how you got into the crypto industry, right? So most of the people bought up some shitty coins and got into the crypto industry, and I'm very grateful for that, for people who got into the crypto industry because of an altcoin. But believe me, your portfolio should only have a max amount of maybe 5% of altcoins. So why would you be caring about such a small amount? Yeah, that's, for me, I have some altcoins, but it's just more like, okay, well, it's there and it's a gamble. If it goes well in a couple of years, great. If it doesn't go well, whatever. It's so, yeah, you should really be focused on not the small things, right? You should be focused on the big thing. The big thing is Bitcoin, right? That's where you can have liquidity, where you can make some money. If you're interested in altcoins, it's just, I mean, I can go over it very quickly, right? You won't like it, but I'll go over it quickly. This is the Litecoin chart. Okay, I'll put this on a weekly, right? I'll put it on a weekly. I'll remove all this crap. 1 second. So okay, I'll leave that. That's fine. Okay. This is the Litecoin chart. God. So, this is the Litecoin chart. We had a pump. Then what happened? We created lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Then we went up. And what happened then? We created lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So basically, since 2018, it kept losing value, right? So, I don't know. Can it be going up? Yeah, I guess so. At one point, it can be going up, but I don't know. It's just, why would you be interested in a cryptocurrency that has a chart like that? That's just my point of view. So yeah, why not just buy Bitcoin? It's, if you're interested in crypto, why not buy Bitcoin instead of Litecoin? I don't know. It makes no sense to me to be putting your money into something that has so high risk and just keeps making lower highs. It just makes no sense. Just makes no sense. And yeah, if you look at this, the chart looks horrible on a weekly basis. Actually, if you compare this with Bitcoin, look at this. We are below all major moving averages. Below all major moving averages. So if Bitcoin goes up and it breaks through the percentage, it will be higher for Bitcoin. Meaning if Bitcoin goes to like 20% up, if you compare it with an altcoin is going to go lower than a Bitcoin in terms of USD value. I'm not talking about BTC pairing, Sats pairing, right? But yeah, I'm not a fan of altcoins. I believe that you're better off putting your money into something that is has higher liquidity. But once again, that's my personal view, of course, right? And yeah. On the weekly chart, as you can see here, the difference between this weekly chart and the Bitcoin weekly chart is yeah, we're above the EMA 21. We are above the EMA 55 right now. So that's the difference. But yeah, all the altcoin charts are the same for me. I'm not very bullish on it. This doesn't look good at all, to be honest. So, but it will follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin moves up, then altcoins are going to follow, right? Brian, it really feels like gold and silver is the only safe bet. The whales are the only ones making money off crypto and stocks. So what do you think? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. For sure, people who are specialized or good at investment are going to make more money. But that's with everything in life, right? How I look at this is like, let's compare it with a football team, right? So in a football team, you always have like one or two guys that is a superstar, that is like insanely talented, right? And those guys make millions, right? Like, I don't know what the fuck they're making, like let's say 50 million or something like that. But in a team, there are also players that are on the bench. There are players that are playing defense or something like that in a lower capacity role. Those players are still making a very decent amount of money, but they are most likely less popular, less talented, less everything. But they are still making a substantial amount of money, right? So that's how I look at the market. Do good people, good investors, crazy genius people, whales and so on, make more money than the normal person? Sure, yes, but they also deserve it. Like, if somebody puts so much time, effort, and is talented in it, I think it's normal that they make more. Like, I don't know how you feel about it, but that doesn't mean that somebody who is not as talented, but who is still willing to put in effort and work and this and that, is not able to make a substantial amount of money. That's something that I disagree with, right? I agree that you cannot make the crazy amounts that the top people can make, but I disagree with just saying like, well, I'm not gonna make money out of it, well, because I'm not talented, or because I'm not this or this and that. I don't think that that's true. So that's the only thing. And also, the amount of money that you make is very relative, right? For some person, let's say if you make $1,000 on top of your side work, your normal full-time work with crypto, they're already super happy, right? For another person, when they only make $50, they're already super happy, because that's an extra $50, whatever. For other people, it's a full-time job, and so you need to be able to pay the bills. So you are thinking about like salary type of levels of amounts of money that you need to be making, right? So it's very relative, but what I do believe is, and that's pretty much in everything in life, and I experienced that myself, right? I experienced that myself. So when I started off, I wanted to be a pro gamer. I was completely amazed about video games, right? So I was playing 10 to 12 hours a day, this game called StarCraft, and I was completely addicted to it. And actually, I was one of the top players in Europe playing that video game. And then I got the chance to be playing during the World Cyber Games. The World Cyber Games is a league in the whole world, and they invited like representatives, the best players from each country. So I got invited to go to Korea and play in Korea as a professional StarCraft player for around 6 months. But then I just gave up. But during that 6 months, I did everything I could. I literally played my ass off, trained my ass off. I played 14 to 16 hours a day. Sometimes I didn't eat, sleep, or whatever. So I was playing StarCraft, Nikolai. So that was what I was doing. Eat, sleep. But even though I was like a top European player, I was compared to like these Koreans, these Asian players, I was just a fish. Like I was nobody. I didn't even get to their level. So what did I realize is, well, the money that you can make from being a pro gamer at that time, now it's a completely different story, by the way, but at that time was very, very limited to only like the top 100. If you are like a top 100 player in the world, you could make some money. If you are the top 10, then you can make some real money. Back then, I'm talking about like 15 years ago or something like that. But anyways, so I tried that out for 6 months, but I realized that I'm not talented, even though I put max effort, everything that I could, I couldn't get there, right? So then when I went into trading and to this, what I realized is that I don't need to be like a genius trader or in the top 10 to be able to make a substantial amount of money, right? I just have to be really like a top trader to be making money. So basically that's what I experienced in my own life when I started out trading. I started from scratch. I learned pretty much everything by myself from scratch. So nobody taught me anything. Nobody teach me anything. That's it. What can I say about OneCoin? What's OneCoin? I don't know what the fuck OneCoin is. If you're gonna ask me about shit coins or altcoins or anything like that, horrible. Forget about it. It's bad. Go buy some Bitcoin. Oh yeah, I forgot my water. Yeah, that's true. Fuck. Hi. See, that's what I have. That's what happens when I go on these type of rants. So let's go back to our Bitcoin. Did we go to a 9K already? No, we didn't go to a 9K yet. Okay. Okay, we're way over our time. Way over our time. So, yeah, you heard it from Nikolai. OneCoin is a scam. Most likely it is. So, whatever. Um, what am I waiting for? Short recap for today, and we'll follow up by tomorrow. Is this whole conjunction here that we're seeing? Rising, ascending triangle right now. If price doesn't breaks below 7,668, ascending triangle is still going up. Where am I expecting? Well, measured move around 9,050 to 9,100. Will we get rejected there? Yes or no? I don't know, but I will be starting my short there. If we go up higher than our previous high, 9,160, then I'll be switching it into a long, because most likely we'll be going towards 9,500 first, and eventually most likely 9,800 after, or our green box on the top. But I don't see that happening, because I see a lot of downwards momentum, and momentum is starting to slow down on the higher time frames, like on the daily and on the weekly chart. That's my reason why I am entering my shorts. So most likely 9.1k, just a little bit below 9.1k, that would form our flag, our bear flag, and our A, B, C, D, E. And afterwards, and after a couple of days, I do see it breaking back down, and I'm going to take profits in my green box on the bottom around 8,050 or 8,050 to 8,100, something like that. Bam! Whew! Got through it. Now we just have to go to 9k, and then tomorrow we will be hopefully doing a follow-up on that, and hopefully this week we'll make some more money. But I'm already good for this month. To be honest, I'm already very, very good for this month, because like I said, we had an amazing trade. The last couple of actually last month and this month have been very, very good, and price has been amazing, moving crazy, and has been amazing. So I think that's all clear what I'm thinking, well, my own personal thoughts for Bitcoin, and let's call it a day, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Please like, share, comment, whatever you want to do. This stream is not only for me, well, mostly for me, 99% for me, but 1% of it is for interactivity. I kind of enjoy, interacting with people in general, because, well, it's a lockdown. We cannot go and meet people. Social distancing, okay, social distancing. So anyways, see you guys tomorrow, hopefully 7:30 p.m. UTC +8, and as always, please stay home, stay safe, and of course stay COVID free.